जा रहे लाइव।
Hmm.
Yes, so I think we are live now. Hello everybody, welcome to EduTap. I hope you guys are doing absolutely good. So just let me know whether my screen and is my voice properly audible so that we can start with our. Okay, so there are two voices coming. Just give me a minute. Something has gone wrong. Okay, so this is PPT. Yes, I think there was some technical issue, but now I think it's sorted. Let me check on YouTube as well. Is everything going good? Hello, am I audible, guys? Please confirm. Right. Hmm. Right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to EduTap. So finally, after the technical issue, we are meeting again. And in this particular video, we are going to do the IFSCA Grade A Phase 1 Paper 2 analysis. Plus, we will also discuss the answer key. Right? Cool. So once the session has started, let's start. So first, I will start with a disclaimer that my friends, we have tried our best. Actually, we talked to around 18 to 20 students. We collect the questions and then we frame the answers. But in this particular process, students just come out from the examination hall. So they remember certain stuff, they don't remember certain stuff. So what I will just let you know is that in some questions, we are not sure whether what will be the right answer, but in some questions, we are damn sure that this is the correct answer. So I would like to give you one disclaimer that if you are watching this particular video, that we are not able to give you, like in some questions, we will never be able to give you the exact answer because they were very big, but we can give you the probable correct answer. Okay, the game of probabilities will stay over here. Right. So let's start, but don't worry, we have done our analysis. And yes, we all know that to clear IFSC grade A phase 1, you need 30 in paper 1, 40 in paper 2, and overall 80 out of 200. So if you watch this particular session, you will get an idea that whether you will go in or whether you will go out. Okay, the probable correct answers, which I will tell you, they are like 80% confirmed, right? 80% confirmation is there that yes, these will be the correct answer. But certain times the human mistakes can happen, right? So let's start. First of all, my friends, in this particular video, we have the collection of 45 to 46 questions. In commerce and accountancy and in your costing, we are still not able to get the full list of questions. But if you see, the overall paper is quite diverse. Management contributing 7 questions, finance contributing 9 questions, economics and costing contributing 8 and 5 questions respectively. Accounts is contributing 6 questions, and to my surprise, the journal awareness component has contributed the most, which is 10 questions. So if you see, my friends, the paper is quite diverse, but at the end of the day, what you have to understand is that if you are not good, let's say in commerce and accounts, then you can do the questions of some other section. Right now, let's start. First, I'm starting with management. Okay. So, in management, how many questions were there? 7. I have the list of all the 7 questions. And now let's discuss them one by one. First of all, what is the following is the premises of planning. Like there was some question like this, and in management, if you see, certain questions were very, very lengthy. Certain questions were very, very lengthy. So once you see any lengthy question, my friend, we are not able to get the exact data or the exact statement. So this was some question related to the premises of planning. Now, once you are doing premises in planning, you are basically scanning the environment. Which type of environment? The internal and the external one. In your internal environment, you analyze your strengths and weaknesses. In your external environment, you try to estimate your opportunities and threats. So currently, if you see, I don't have the full question. I don't have the full options also. But there were like 5 students who have said to me, sir, that in that particular question, the questioner was talking about scanning the environment. So according to me, this answer looks correct. Therefore, I'm marking my answer as scanning the environment. Rest other options were also there, but they were related to some directing components like leading, motivating, and all that stuff. But if you see premises, but if you see premises of planning, then scanning of the environment will be the correct answer. Cool. So I'm marking my answer as scanning as the environment. And this is beautifully covered in our course as well. Second question was related to Vroom expectancy theory. As per Vroom expectancy theory, which is the yes most critical premises of planning. ऐसा कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं था. No, no, no. There were questions, Abhinav. There were questions like premises of planning also, but yes, we are not able to get the exact one because this was very, very lengthy questions. Management was unconventional this time. Now, the second question also is kind of bit, dubious. Over here also, we don't have the exact question, but the question framing was like this, that as per Victor Vroom expectancy theory, how incentives can improve the morale of the employees. So they were asking you certain big, big statements in the options. But if you see, only one option was talking about expectancy, valency, and instrumentality. And that will be your correct answer. No other statement was talking about expectancy, valency, and instrumentality. And if you see the entire theory, if you see the entire theory, if you see the entire theory of Victor Vroom is based on expectancy, valency, and instrumentality only. So I will mark that particular statement as my correct answer, जहां पे expectancy, valency, and instrumentality का mention था. Like I have talked to 10 people and they all have said कि सर बाकी statements बहुत weird थे, बहुत लंबे लंबे थे. So सर जहां पे expectancy, valency और instrumentality दिखा उनको, उन्होंने उसको ही राइट ऑप्शन सेलेक्ट कर लिया, विच अकॉर्डिंग टू मी इज ऑल्सो राइट अप्रोच. बिकॉज कोर थीम जो आप देखोगे विक्टर ब्रूम एक्सपेक्टेंसी थ्योरी जो है, वो एक्सपेक्टेंसी, वैलेंसी एंड इंस्ट्रूमेंटालिटी पे ही बनी है. राइट. सो फॉर द फर्स्ट टू क्वेश्चंस आई एम literally saying to you that it was very, very tough to get the exact question, but it was based around this particular theme only. That pehle question mein they were asking you regarding the premises of planning, something like that. Or usme scanning of the environment looks correct to me. 80% confirmation, yes, it looks correct to me. And in the second question for Victor Vroom, here expectancy, valency and instrumentality wala jo statement tha wo sahi lag raha hai. Next question, let's move ahead. This was also a kind of a very easy question for us to decode. This question was, which of the following is not a leadership style as per Kurt Levin's leadership theory? Kurt Levin, world famous figure when it comes to leadership. He has given you autocratic leadership, democratic, laissez-faire. Some students were saying participative was also there in the options. Participative is a synonym of democratic leadership, but bureaucratic was not given by Kurt Levin. Bureaucratic was given by Max Weber. Therefore, the correct answer of this question will be option number D. First question will be option number D. First will be option number D. Right? Bureaucratic. Right? Let me read the chat also. I'm reading some chat. Again, students, मुझे गाली मत देना. I have tried my best to get the questions from as many students as possible. ठीक है, तो अगर आप इस पूरे सेशन को देखते हो, then you can get a rough idea that आपके 40 प्लस आ रहे हैं पेपर 2 में या नहीं. Okay, so this is not the exact answer की, rather I should call it as a probable or a very high, I should say what, confirmation answer key. Okay. Moving forward, moving forward, moving forward to the next question, question number 4. Which of the following is not an HRD intervention? Now, this was also some question, and yes, some name of one particular person was also used in this question, which our students was not able to recall. Now, the question is quite simple. HRD intervention means certain concepts which are related to HRD, you can say. Training and development, yes, you study in HRD. Development for current jobs, development for future jobs, performance appraisals, all of these are definitely a component of HRD intervention. But when it comes to organizational structures, you set organizational structure under your organizing. and not under HRD. So this will be my correct answer for question number 4 of management. So answer over here will be option number E. And this we have again covered beautifully in our course of EduTap. Right? Exact question. Thank you, Bishwajit, for confirming it. Thank you so much. Right? So this was one question which was related to HRD. And according to me, till now, the 4 questions which we have solved, all of them, like first and two, are like quite weird because they were very big. But if your conceptual clarity is good, if you know how to play smart in the exam, then you can do it. Question number 3, halwa, very easy. Question number 4 again looks very easy to me. Right? Moving forward to question number 5. Now, this question again, we are not able to get it fully, but the essence of this question goes like this. ये question की theme थी. Which of the following channel can be used to handle ambiguous managerial problems? Now, once you have ambiguity in your in your management, then definitely formal channels won't work. So you need certain kind of those channels wherein you can get spontaneous feedback. For example, if you come to my home and if I explain you the concept, you will understand it directly. But right now, when you are sitting 100 kilometers away from me, or if you are sitting a country away from me, then we have to connect through internet. And sometimes internet cannot work, right? So there can be some disruptions in our communication. But if you see the correct answer over here, according to the best of my knowledge, it will be face-to-face meetings. It will be face-to-face meetings because when the ambiguous management problems are happening, it's good for the superior and for the subordinate to talk directly so that they can remove any kind of confusion. But again, I am not 100% sure for question number 5. I am currently like 90% sure कि answer face-to-face meetings ही होना चाहिए. Right? Yes, Akansha is saying options were mailing. Mailing will also not work because mailing will take ages to solve the problem of managerial problems, right? Moving forward to question number 6. Now, there was a question related to the very famous personality Kunuds and O'Donnell, right? So, what is the, or you can say, which is the primary function of a manager as per Kunuds and O'Donnell? Now, primary function is of management is planning because you start with planning, then you move to organizing, then you move to staffing, then you go to directing, and after directing comes your controlling, and from controlling you are back to planning. So planning is your primary function. Now, which is the primary function of a manager? So they were asking you basically related to the planning only, and in planning you set your common objectives. Planning का overall summary यही होता है. In planning, you do what? You set certain goals which you want to achieve by the end of the year, right? So over here, multiple statements. Again, this question was not easy to get out from the students. Students were saying sir बहुत सारे statements थे हमें कुछ याद नहीं आ रहा है. So we have full sympathy towards the student. But again, the question was related to primary function, and primary function of management is planning. So answer over here will be to achieve common objectives, which is one of the key areas of your planning areas, right? So I will mark this as my right answer. Moving forward, this again was beautifully covered in our course. Question number 7. DAS is used by management to oversee day-to-day things in organization. The answer is quite simple over here. ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. Enterprise Resource Planning basically means that you are bringing all the resources on one table, like HR, financial, you have accounts resource and whatnot. So there is one software which goes by the name of ERP, right? So answer over here will be option number A, which is enterprise resource planning. And that concludes my all the 7 questions of management. Overall, if you see management kind of unconventional because over here they have asked you multiple big statement kind of questions. So once big statement comes, paper can become confusing. But if you know how to, I would say what, if you know how to, mark the answer, then your things can go good, right? So now let's move forward to costing. In costing, if I'm not wrong, I have 5 questions, but I am 100% sure that the student who were like the student who went to analysis, they were not able to give us the more questions. But I think in costing, there are 5 questions from our side, but हो सकता है कि 6 से 7 भी हो. Moving forward to costing, very easy questions to start. What does D stands in DMAIC? DMAIC. So you have this particular concept under lean system. In DMAIC, D stands for define, M stands for measure, A stands for analysis, I stands for improve, and C stands for control. This is a kind of a technique wherein you try to make sure that the quality is maintained. So in DMAIC, D stands for design. Okay, so rest options I'm not even reading because they doesn't make any sense. Moving forward to question number 2. Now, this was a quite a unique question, BPR, business process re-engineering and your process innovation, right? The question was something on this line. This is not the exact question, but it is like 90% replica of that question. Uh, I'm reading some chats. Okay, so I am seeing some students are mentioning question 6 was Peter Ducker. No Kunuts. Okay, I will take that feedback. I will take that feedback. Yes, define we have done, right? It's define. Yes, it's not define, it's design. Sorry, it's define, not design. My bad. It's option number B. Amend was there an option? Okay, let's move forward to question number two of costing. Now, according to us, we are not sure that what will be the correct answer over here. Both BPR and process innovation were introduced in 1999, while BPR focuses on dash of the process and process innovation focuses on the renovation of process. Now, some students are saying that the answer over here, amending. Okay, let me read the chat box. I can see some students are contributing. Some students are saying amend. Some are saying reduce. Okay, yes, yes. For DMIAC, I apologize. The correct answer will be define, not design, right? It will be define only. Cool. Okay, so in this particular, yes, amend. Okay, like as per the students' response which we have got, some people were saying the reduce will be the correct answer. Like, but the chat which I am reading in the, I would say what, in the chat box, some people are saying amend. Amend and remove were there in the option. So if amend was there, then yes, amend would be the correct answer, not reduce. The correction over here, like if I just go with amend, then yes, amend would be the correct answer for BPR, not reduce. Okay, there were two fillers. Okay, okay, okay. So if you can write the exact question, that will be very, very good. But I am not sure that what was question number 2, so I'm not giving you the exact answer for question number 2. Okay, so I'm not able to give the right answer for question number 2 because as per us, amend was not there, but as per all of you, you are saying that amend was there. Right. So let's move to question number 3. Yes, this question is like very much easy to do. For question number 3, job costing is used in dash industries. So job costing is definitely used in which type of industries? Construction only, right? A very basic and a plain question for all of you to answer. Please confirm for question number 3 कि what was the exact options if you can recall. Yes, for question number 2, I'm not sure that what was the correct overall understanding of the question. But question number 3, I hope you all agree that answer will be construction only because job costing is used in construction. Okay, please move from question number 2 to question number 3. If you have marked amend, then yes, amend looks correct, right in question number 2. Moving forward to question number 3, job costing is used in construction related companies. Okay, so answer over here, which I am giving to all of you, is option number D. Right. Now let's move forward to question number 4. Which of the following is best used in bakery business which produces biscuits at a high volume? Now this question was also this. Yes, custom made will be the right answer then. If you are saying the option was made under custom, all 4 options were wrong here. Okay, right. Moving forward, which of the following is best for bakery which produces biscuits at high volume? So over here, the correct answer will be process. Now, I see that some students like question number 2, if amend was there, then yes, that answer will look correct. And for question number 3, also some students are mentioning that there was certain discrepancies. Like some students are saying use where order is custom made. Yes, if custom made is there, then it will be the right answer. But if this list of option is incorrect, then you can avoid this question as well. Moving forward to question number 4, over here, process costing will be the correct answer. Next question is related to dash requires no data entry for partially completed work as all the costs are recorded only after the production is finished. And then you have big statement of 3 lines. So, right, moving forward to question number 5. Over here, I think the correct answer will be backflushed costing. Because over here, if you see, in backflush, what happens is that you complete the overall costing only after the complete work is done, not in between. So the correct answer over here looks as option number A, backflush costing. And this is a kind of a unique concept which you all should remember. Moving forward to accounts now. I can see Pranav is saying sir biscuit को output costing होना चाहिए. Nothing has been mentioned about various steps involved. Okay, cool. Yes, backflush. Everybody has written that correct. Cool. Moving forward to accounts. So in costing, I can still see that we have to work a lot. And don't worry, this is just a probable paper. This is not the exact paper. We will definitely bring a good paper for you, wherein we are giving you all the different I should say what, all the correct answers. But for that, we need some more time, right? Now moving to accounts. In accounts, the first question which we have seen in the paper is ratio which shows the relationship between profitability with respect to owner funds. Now, if this is the case, then the answer should be return to equity. If this is the case, right? If this is the case, then the answer should be return to equity because in return to equity, you try to check the profitability with the owner's fund. So answer should be option number A when it comes to profitability with respect to owner funds. If you have any more contention over here, then please let us know. So answer will be option number A. In question number 2, what is the main purpose of fund flow statement? Now some students confuse fund flow with cash flow, right? So fund flow is different, cash flow is different. No, no, it will not be debt to equity because debt to equity is different, return on equity is different. Yes. Next question was related to what is the main purpose of fund flow statement. So the main purpose of fund flow statement is to understand the overall financial position of the company. Because to identify cash position, to identify the incoming and outgoing of cash and cash equivalent, these are the function of your cash flow statement and not for your fund flow statement. In fund flow statement, you try to check that what are the sources of funds and application of fund, which basically tells you about the financial position. So answer will be option number C over here, according to me. So answer will be option number C. Right. Some students are also saying options were to analyze. Yes, if working capital wala option was there, then yes, that would be correct. Wrong options. The option was to analyze the working capital of company. Right, right, right. So if working capital wala was mentioned, like if I write to make working capital, then yes, that particular option will look correct, not the financial position, because in fund flow statement, the major focus is on working capital only, right? Question number 3 was related to an investment is considered as cash equivalent if it's realized before dash months. Yes, working capital will be correct if that was the option. I think we need to ask some better people because option definitely we have to work on it. Right. An investment is considered as cash equivalent if it is realized before dash months. So investment is considered as cash equivalent if it is realized before 3 months. 3 months will be the correct answer for this. Right? All of you have given the right answer. 3 months. Cash and cash equivalent is 3 months. Right? Question number 4. Recommended method for valuing the shares at employee stock option. What is the recommended method for valuing the shares for an employee stock option? Market value, revalue, book price, or average price? What will be the correct answer? 12 month will not be the correct answer. It should be 3 months. Uh, I would have gone for process costing for biscuit production. The correct answer as per Ind AS 102 for this is market value. As per accounting standards, like a guidance note on employee share based payments and Ind AS 102, the market value of the share on the grant of date of grant is used to determine the ESOP value. Right? Moving forward to the next one, question number 5. Dash ratio shows the relationship between interest bearing and equity capital. Like this was some question, and again, this was very big. As per the R analysis, like again, 80% sure, not 100%. The correct answer over here looks like capital gearing ratio, which is option number B. Okay, but again, my friends, I am not a regular teacher for costing and commerce and accounts in EduTap. So if I'm doing any mistake, I will apologize straight away. जो सच है वो सच है. There is no hiding of any fact. But yes, I am a very good teacher of management and finance. You all know. Moving forward, इधर के लिए we are giving the answer as capital gearing ratio because under capital gearing ratio we have your capital which is interest bearing divided by your equity capital. So in preference shares you pay fixed dividend, which is a kind of a load on your capital. Then you have debentures and other borrowed fund divided by your equity share capital. Right. Now let's move to question number 6. Like this question was there related to AS2 valuation of inventories. Right. This question was there related to the valuation of inventories. And again, I'm not sure because we don't have the full values of this particular question. But some students were saying that the correct answer is coming as 4,800. But I will not vouch for that. Why? Because we don't have the exact values. So if we don't have the exact values, then how the hell we will be able to solve the question? So question number 6, currently I'm leaving it as blank because I don't have the exact data for this particular question. Right. Moving forward to current affairs, like current affairs have dominated a lot. So there were 10 questions of current affairs. Let's start with the first one. Like the first question was related to e-shram objectives, right? And as per the current affairs faculty who has gone to give the exam, that particular faculty told to me that all the objectives which were given in the questions were correct related to the I would say what e-shram objectives. Okay, so 1400, 1425, 1450, 1475 was these were the option. Okay, I will take it as a screenshot and I will definitely solve it so that I can also get the right answer. Cool. So e-shram wale question pe 3 objectives were given and all of these were the correct one, right? Then we come to question number 2. In question number 2, they were asking you World Population Prospects was released by which organization? So the correct answer will be UNDESA. Like these are straightforward questions which you all have to get. Yes, all 3 correct in this. Yes, all 3 were correct. In the second question, UNDESA is the correct answer. Right? Question number 3. According to UN report, when India's population is expected to reach its peak. So as per the UN report, India's population is expected to reach its peak in the decades of 2060s. Like this was a report which was released, and that particular report said that around 2060s, India population will peak. So this was also a kind of a binary question. Data was directly given to you, so you could have marked easily, right? Moving forward to question number 4. A working paper on domestic migration was released by Economic Advisory Committee, which assists Prime Minister. Like there were 3 statements. The title was given. Then it states that the since census 2011, internal migration has declined by what percent? That was also given. And some comment was made regarding Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh that maximum of the people migrate from these states. So as per my analysis, all the 3 statements were correct, right? So question number 4 again, all the options were correct. Question number 5. According to the gender snapshot of 2024, closing the gender digital divide could add additional dash to the economy by 2030. Additionally, it could lift 30 million women out of poverty and benefit 350 million women and girls. So this was a statement given, and they have asked the question from gender snapshot 2024. So if you know, the correct answer will be 1.5 trillion. The correct answer will be 1.5 trillion. Moving forward to question number 6, World Bank Poverty Brief Report. As per this particular report, again, three different statements were given. Extreme poverty rate in India is at 2.3. Poverty decrease in rural areas and increase in urban areas. Report noted that employment growth has outpaced the expansion of working age population since 2021-2022. Now, if you see, they again have asked you the correct statements. So 1 and 3 were correct because in the second statement, the incorrect thing is that in both the areas, the poverty has decreased. So in urban area also poverty has come down, and in rural areas also poverty has come down. So I think this will be the correct answer. Moving forward to question number 7. In 2025, UNFPA State of Population report was released. What is the title of this particular report? They have asked you this question. So the correct answer will be the real fertility crisis. The correct answer will be the real fertility crisis will be the correct one. Question number 7 for current affairs. Eighth one, United Nations General Secretary hosted the first biennial summit for sustainable, inclusive, and resilient global economy. In which city was this summit held? The correct answer for this question will be New York, right? So this question also we are sure, so we are giving you a short answer for that. Question number 9. In IMF, the voting power of each member of a country is determined on the basis of its what? So, as per the analysis which we have done for the options, the correct answer which we are getting is financial contributions. Okay, all the other options were not making sense. So, answer over here looks out to be financial contribution. Right? Paris is not the correct answer for the biennial summit on sustainable, inclusive, and resilient global economy. Moving forward to the last question of question number 10 of current affair, which of the following is among 7 sustainable development goals? So multiple goals were given: quality of life, life below water, and etc. etc. And all of them were the correct one. So the correct answer will be all of the above, right? So again, I truly apologize for the questions for costing and commerce and accounts. I think we need to work on them, but I have given you the probable answer as per the analysis which we have done. Now, what I will do is I will ask my fellow colleague Jaskaran to start his screen sharing so that he can continue this session forward. Yes, Jaskaran, please share your screen. Jaskaran, unmute.
Yes, so I hope I'm audible to all of you, and my screen is also visible. I've shared my screen.
Yes, Jaskaran, full view. Yes, now it's looking good.
Yes. So firstly, we are going to see economics questions. So 8 questions were asked in economics and 9 questions were asked in finance subject. So firstly, we will go through the answer key for economics, and afterwards we'll go through finance also, right? So let us move on to the question number 1. Just give me a second. Okay. So question number 1 is, when national income is calculated at current prices, it is called what? So we know that basically when the national income is calculated at current prices, what it is going to be? It is going to be nominal income, right? So it is going to be nominal income. So yes, C is going to be the answer to this question. And I would say this question was very easy and very straightforward. तो ये सबने से ही किया ही होगा. And you can see that this was also covered as a part of EduTap notes. So many of you would be confused between nominal income and real income only. So real income is based on constant prices and the nominal income is based on the current prices, right? तो साइड बाय साइड क्वेश्चन कंफर्म भी करते रहना कि यार यही क्वेश्चन था या नहीं और ऑप्शंस ऐसे थे या नहीं, ठीक है, सो दैट वी आर एबल टू मेक दिस क्वेश्चन as precise as possible. Now moving on to question number 2. The market demand curve is the dash summation of individual demand curves. So, with respect to this question, the answer is going to be the C option. Horizontal summation. So basically this question was asked from core economics. तो जिसने अपने concepts अच्छे से clear किए होंगे, थोड़ा सा डिटेल में पढ़ा होगा, तो आप इसको आंसर कर सकते थे, because we know that when we talk about market demand at each price, how do we find market demand? It is basically found by adding together the quantities that are demanded by all individual at that price, right? And based on that, we basically describe it as the horizontal summation, right? That is across quantity axis, right? So that is why C is going to be the correct answer. And you can see this was also covered as a part of our concept notes, right? Now moving on to question number 3. When the marginal propensity to consume is 0.75, the investment multiplier will be what? So over this question, you just had to apply this formula, right? You just had to apply that K is equal to 1 upon 1 minus MPC, which is marginal propensity to consume. So if you just apply this formula, you can easily find the answer, which is nothing but 4, right? So I would say this question was straight away asked from the concept notes only. So this is, I would say, just a small coincidence that the sample example that we have discussed as a part of the concept notes, you can see the same example was asked in the question also. So if you had read the concept notes properly, you can easily see, you could have easily marked it as 4, right? So D is going to be the correct answer to this question. Now question number 4, which of the following is not listed as a goal under the sustainable development goals? So which of the following is not listed? So basically E is going to be the correct answer because all the above are listed as a part of sustainable development goals, right? So if you see SDGs, so clean water and sanitation it comes under goal 6. Then we have quality education, that comes under goal 4. Then good health and well-being, that comes under goal 3, and life below water, that comes under goal 14. So E is going to be the correct answer, right? So you can see this was also covered as a part of the notes. Now, question number 5, a country's voting power in the IMF is determined by what? So, very easy question. If you have read IMF, this is very basic knowledge, right? So basically, it is based upon the financial contribution, because we know that in IMF we have quota system, right? In IMF, voting power is based on the quota system, and quota system reflects what? It basically reflects the financial contribution of a country. So that is why C is going to be the correct answer, and you can see this was also covered as a part of the concept notes. Now, question number 6, when a country increases its money supply, how will it affect the LM curve and the overall equilibrium in the ISLM framework, right? So we know that basically when the money supply increases, what happens as a result of money supply? What is the impact on liquidity? Of course, there will be more liquidity in the market. When the more liquidity in the will be there in the market, what is going to be the impact on the interest rate? Yes, the interest rate is going to fall down. When the interest rate is going to fall down, what is going to be the impact on the investment? The investments are going to get stimulated, and the spending is also going to get increased, and that will basically raise the equilibrium level, right? It will raise the equilibrium level of income. So that is why with respect to this question, the curve is going to shift rightwards, and B is going to be the correct answer to this question, right? So let me see if there is any kind of, I would say, modification that you think should be there as a part of these questions. Okay, so I think you are discussing some accounts question in the chat box. So, okay. Nilesh is saying GDP as per PPP was in the option. Okay, you're talking about this national income question, right? Okay, we will change the options, we'll modify it. I'll keep that in mind. Okay, now question number. Okay, so you can see this was also there covered as a part of the concept notes straightforwardly. Now, let us move on to question number 7. This was again a very easy question directly asked from the monetary policy regarding open market operation. We know that as a part of open market operation, what RBI does, it basically sells and purchases different government securities. So, based on that, of course, C is going to be the correct answer, because due to selling and buying of government securities, it basically increases or decreases liquidity in the market, and yes, it influences the money supply. So, C is going to be the correct answer to this question, and you can see it was again covered as a part of the concept notes. Now the last question from economics, in the Keynesian model, the key impact of the paradox of shift is that, right? So this was another question that was asked, and the correct answer regarding this question was the B option, right? So increase in saving. So we know that we are not entering the details because this itself is a detailed topic, तो इसके बारे में ज्यादा बात नहीं करेंगे, but बस आंसर देख लो इस समय कि it basically the paradox is that it leads to increase in the savings, that leads to decrease in aggregate demand, which further leads to decrease in the national income, right? So I would say B is going to be the correct answer to this question. I hope most of you have marked it correctly. So if you try to analyze the difficulty level, I would say out of 8, there were 2 to 3 questions that were a bit tricky, and for that you had to have a great clarity regarding the concepts, right? But rest of the questions, I would say, very easy to answer. Now moving on to the next part. which is the finance portion. So let us see finance questions also one by one. 9 questions were there, and I found finance questions easier as compared to economics questions. So let us see, let us go through them one by one. So the IMPS in India is operated and managed by whom? So of course it is managed by NPCI. We all know that, right? A very basic question was asked. So you can see this was also covered as a part of the concept notes. Now, according to RBI's latest figures, India's financial inclusion index for the year ending March 2025 has changed to what? It has changed to 67. Right? It has changed to 67. Though I have not pasted a screenshot, but we had covered it as a part of our current affair magazine, right? So 67 is going to be the answer. Very factual question. Now, question number 3. द वैल्यू ऑफ डेरिवेटिव से डिराइव फ्रॉम द वैल्यू ऑफ वॉट. तो अब इससे इजी क्वेश्चन मुझे नहीं लगता कुछ हो सकता है. सिलेबस में आपके साफ साफ लिखा हुआ है बेसिक्स ऑफ डेरिवेटिव्स एज अ पार्ट ऑफ फाइनेंस, राइट? तो ये पढ़ा है तो आराम से आप you could have answered B. So B is going to be the answer. Of course, it is derived from the value of the underlying assets, right? So B is going to be the correct answer to this question. And again, it was covered as a part of the concept notes. Question number 4. What is the primary role of the project sponsoring authority in a public-private partnership project? Now, regarding this question, I was not able to collect all the options. I don't know what options were, I would say, given in the examination, because based on that, I don't know what confusion did they try to create. But do let me know if there was some other option also. But based on my interaction with the students told me that this was one of the option which is conceptualize and prepare the project proposal for approval. So ये आंसर ये ऑप्शन था वहां पर. Can you confirm? So was it one of those options in the examination? अगर ये ऑप्शन नहीं था, तो अगर वहां पर कोई ग्रांट से रिलेटेड ऑप्शन है कि यार ग्रांट्स प्रोवाइड में भी मदद करता है, तो वो भी ऑप्शन एक सही हो सकता है, राइट? सो आई डोंट नो व्हाट वर द प्रिसाइज ऑप्शन. ओके, फंडिंग मोबिलाइज का भी ऑप्शन था, तो फंडिंग वाला ऑप्शन सही हो सकता है. अगर ये ऑप्शन नहीं था, इफ द फंडिंग रिलेटेड ऑप्शन वाज देयर, सो बेसिकली प्रोजेक्ट स्पॉन्सरिंग अथॉरिटी हेल्प्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू फंडिंग आल्सो रिगार्डिंग पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप प्रोजेक्ट्स. सो दैट कैन आल्सो बी द करेक्ट आंसर, राइट? नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5, एंड डू लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट बॉक्स. अगर यहां पर आपको याद नहीं आ रहा है, अगर बाद में याद आता है, तो कमेंट बॉक्स में लिख देना. आई विल रीड ऑल द कमेंट्स एंड बेस्ड ऑन दैट आई विल मॉडिफाई द क्वेश्चन, राइट? नाउ आई हैव नॉट रिटन द ऑप्शंस बिकॉज इसके ऑप्शंस कोई भी स्टूडेंट मुझे अच्छे से बता नहीं पाया. बहुत ज्यादा कंफ्यूजन थी, तो मुझे लगा रॉन्ग ऑप्शन लिखने से अच्छा है कि जो मुझे सबसे क्लोजेस्ट ऑप्शन लग रहा है, आंसर लग रहा है, बस वही मेंशन कर दें, राइट? नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू क्वेश्चन नंबर 5. Which of the following schemes were launched by the government of India in 2014 in order to promote financial inclusion? Of course, it is going to be Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, right? Very easy question. ठीक है, financial inclusion में से आया था, and I would say very straightforward. Now moving on to question number 6. As per RBI's revised guidelines effective from 4th October 2025, the changes introduced in the check truncation system will lead to a transition from what? तो अगर आपने नहीं भी पढ़ा होता, if you have not read these guidelines, right, of 4th October 2025, even if you know about this check truncation system, you could have answered this question, because B is going to be the correct answer. And although we had covered it as a part of our current affair notes also, but I pasted a screenshot from Kritika ma'am's lecture. You can see it on YouTube that she had covered it just 1 month ago, right? So you could have answered this question if you had watched this video. But even if you do not know about these guidelines, this question was manageable, right? This question, I would say the options were not very much tricky, so you could have managed this question. Question number 7th. Which of the following can be used to manage or hedge against interest rate risk? Now, I don't know what were the rest of the options, that is option D and option E, but based on my interaction with the students, these are the confirmed options, right? I don't know what were the rest of the options, but based on that, basically B is going to be the correct answer to this question, because we know that when the interest rate swaps happen, so basically what does it allow? It basically allows the party to exchange the floating and fixed exchange rates, right? And based on that, what they can do, basically it will help them to offset the risk, right? So based on that, B is going to be the correct answer to this question. Yes, not C, but the B option, right? So that is going to be the correct answer, and you can see that it was covered over there. Now question number 8. In market risk management, when an entity holding an existing position takes an equal and opposite position in a related instrument to offset potential adverse price movements. The strategy is called what? So the answer was hedging. Now I know that this was not the precise line that was written as a part of your question paper, but something like that was written. I've talked to students, they told me that this is one of those closest definition regarding hedging, but hedging was the correct answer to that question, right? Most of the students agreed. Now let us move on to question number 9. So ninth question was regarding payment bank, and it was the comparison between payment banks and the traditional banks. So I would say this was also an easy question. We know that payment banks basically they can accept deposits, but they do not provide credit, right? They do not provide loan. So some sort of I would say these sort of points were added as a part of the options. So based on that, basically, with respect to this one, C is going to be the correct answer, which is I would say the option 1 and 3, statement 1 and 3. These are going to be the correct ones. Now, these two options I know they are very precise. These were there as a part of a question paper. But this last option I know it was not there. But many I asked many students, but they told me that they are not able to recall what was the third option. So if you are able to recall it, you can just write in the comment box, right? So based on that, C is going to be the correct answer to this question, because basically they can accept deposit and they are not allowed to issue credits, right? That they are not allowed to issue loans. They are not allowed to issue credit cards also. So this option can be eliminated. So that is the idea. So now we are done with the finance section also. And this was again covered as a part of the banking chapter, the notes. So we are done with finance, we are done with economics. Rest of the portion you have already covered with Jalat sir. And do let me know in the comment box that what do you think, how much you are scoring uh, after attempting this paper, because this will help us to predict cutoff also based on the sample size of the students. So let us know in the comment box. And apart from that, if you want to suggest any kind of modifications regarding the questions, be it with respect to the options or maybe the difficulty level, right, or the language of the question, or if you want to, if you are not, if you do not agree with the answer that we have provided, so you can write that too, right? So you can write it constructively as a part of the comment box. So that is it from my end. And let me read the chat box if there is something. Okay, so that is it from my end. So now I'm ending the session. And thank you so much and all the best. And do not overthink. ज़्यादा मत सोचो, जो हो गया सो हो गया, ठीक है? And what you have to do basically, SEBI is coming. Now SEBI notification has already been announced. And we know that basically if you talk about SEBI syllabus overlaps up to a huge extent with this PFRDA and IFSCA examinations, right? So you are in that flow. You have already given PFRDA, you have given IFSCA. Now still, please start preparing for SEBI, right? It is a golden opportunity for you. तो सारे एग्जाम एक अच्छे फ्लो में आ रहे हैं, आरबीआई भी आ रहा है. सो प्लीज जस्ट कीप ऑन मूविंग एंड जस्ट थिंक अबाउट योर फ्यूचर गोल्स. जो हो गया अब हो गया. अगर नहीं हुआ अच्छा एग्जाम तो ज्यादा मत सोचो and just relax, take 1 to 2 days breaks, and then afterwards you can restart your preparation, right? So that is it from my end. Thank you so much and all the best for your future preparation.